Morning, Misfits. It is 8:43 on a Friday a.m. in November, and it's cold as shit this morning, y'all. It was 35 degrees when I pulled out of my driveway. It's bright too. Hang on, let me see if I can. I don't know if that made the picture any better, but it hurts less. Sun's fucking brutal. I don't just write about vampires. Half the time I feel like one. Yeah, so I'm headed down to Atlanta this morning for the ConJuration Con. This is a new one on me. I haven't done it before. I'm going down to meet up with Andi Judy, who writes for Falstaff under the name Judy Black. Her first Finnegan family Cabinet of Aberrations, her first Finnegan family novella in the Quincy Harker universe, came out earlier this year, and this convention is themed around freak shows. So since Cabinet of Aberrations is about a traveling circus sideshow, we thought that this would be a good place to launch. We'd originally thought that we would launch the collection of novellas, but then life happened, and we only have one of the four out so far, mostly because it's taken a lot longer to produce books this year than I expected it to, and it takes a lot longer for people to write books. So we're running late on almost everything. But that's kind of the life, you know. Deadlines are fluid, and yeah, deadlines are fluid. So I've got a table in the dealer room. I have 5 tubs full of books and 2 tubs of promotional swag in the back of the truck, and stopped off at the QT to get rocket fuel. And then I'm headed south. I'll be driving for a little over 4 hours because this is down by the airport. So I not only have to get to Atlanta, I have to deal with 285, which, Jesus wept. If there's a more fucked up piece of road in the United States than 285 around Atlanta, I don't want to see it. I'll just, if it exists, y'all tell me where it is in the comments, and if I have to go to wherever that city is, I'll just fucking fly, because I ain't gonna drive on anything any worse than 285. Yeah, so this is a 3-day convention, and it's more of a fandom con than the vendor hall cons I've been doing a lot of lately. So on the one hand, there's practically zero chance that I'll recoup the cost of the convention. The table was a little pricey, and the hotel is decent, so that means it's a little pricey. And I'm rolling solo. I don't have a roommate for this con like I do for a lot of them, so it's more expensive. But on the upside, I have a fair chunk of panels, including a Falstaff spotlight, so we'll get to promote the press a lot, and I'll get to do more of that style marketing, which means that over the long term, this could be a good convention. This one started life as a Harry Potter fan con and has grown into encompassing other genres and other I don't know, subgenres or other fandoms. It still focuses a lot on Harry Potter, and I expect there to be a pretty high concentration of young people, which means that we won't be pushing the Shingles title too hard. Sorry, I know that's gross, but it's cold. I'm fat, and that sniffles happen. So I think that there's good potential for long-term results out of this convention, even if I don't recoup my costs immediately. I did some analysis this week on convention expenses overall for 2018, and led me to realize that I was right. I've done too many cons this year. This one's 36. 36? No, I've done 36. This one's 37. Then Atomicon's 38. Charlotte Comic Con's 39. I don't know. I'm going to end up at 39 or 40 by the end of the year, and that's too many. I'm going to try and keep it under 20 for 2019. I'm already booked on 15. So we'll see how I do on keeping it under 20. But at any rate, I'm going to put it in the road. Y'all be good to one another. I'll see you in a few. Hey there. Welcome back to the Long Con. It's a little after midnight, and I've finished my first day of ConJuration 2018. Had a good time. It was a good con. Everybody's super sweet. Very nice people. This started off as a Harry Potter fan convention and expanded into other genres. So that some of that Hogwarts feel is still here in the convention. It's very welcoming, very friendly. Everybody just seems so damn happy to be here. It's nice. I've done one panel. Let's see. I left home, what, 8:30? Yeah, something like that. Left home about 8:30. Took for fucking ever to get here. 5 hours. Got to Atlanta, and then Atlanta happened. It took well over an hour from the time I got into Atlanta to the time I got here to the hotel. We're on the other side of Atlanta from Charlotte. We're over by the airport, and I took 285 around. I should have listened to Siri, but I didn't. So that probably added 15 or 20 minutes because there was a wreck right as you get on 285, and if I'd have just gotten the left lane and blown straight through 85, I could have saved some time, but shit. Atlanta's just a shit show to drive through, and being on the absolute ass end of Atlanta from where I start was brutal. So yeah, the drive was frustrating. Getting to this weird hotel was frustrating. The hotel's very nice, don't get me wrong. There are lights. Making light for video is kind of a pain in the ass. I need to get a light kit or something. You would think that I would know what good lighting looked like, right? It was only my life for 20 plus years. Yeah. Cobbler's kids have shitty shoes too. But anyway, so getting to the hotel was weird. There were a lot of weird side roads and frontage roads and loopy around airport shit. So yeah, it was frustrating to get here, but once I got to the hotel, everything was great. The staff was very nice. Andi Judy, who writes as Judy Black, she's here with me working the table. Pardon me. Booze. She's here helping me work the table. She had already picked up my badge, knew where the table was. We loaded right in, got the car put away. You know, they cut us a deal on parking for the con. The convention is running things very well. My first panel was 10 p.m. It was an urban fantasy panel with Stephanie Osborne, who's a former NASA scientist, Robin Briggs, who I met as the NaNoWriMo boss lady for the Charlotte region, and a woman named Kath, who I didn't know before this. It was fine. It was a panel on urban fantasy. It was a little unstructured, but it was fine. We made it happen. Ben-Hur Norris was kind enough to bring me booze because I was running a little late, so I gave him $20 and said, hey, stand in line and pick up a drink for me and get yourself one too. He missed the get yourself one too part, so he brought me 2 drinks. So I had a couple drinks. They're really yummy. They're called, the hotel made a bunch of custom drinks for the con. This one was called Firebolt. It had a bunch of different shit in it. Lemon juice, Jim Beam, ginger ale. I don't know, a bunch of shit. It felt like there was some Fireball in there too. I don't know. It was really yummy. I had 2 of those and then watched a guy do magic tricks, and then came back to the room and chatted with Andi for a little bit about her writing plans because, well, I'm her publisher, so figuring out what she's writing next year helps me figure out what I'm publishing in 2020. So yeah, it's a little bit after midnight. I've been up since 7. I'll get up tomorrow at probably 7:30. I can sleep in a little because the vendor room doesn't open until 10 and my first panel isn't until noon. I've got 4 panels tomorrow. One of them is the Falstaff Spotlight, so I'm going to be talking a lot since I am the Falstaff representative. Andi will be there, of course, and we're going to give away some free books. We're going to do that at every con where we do the Falstaff Spotlight. From here on out, we're going to give away some free books, get people hooked. You know, Million Playground Drug Dealers can't be wrong. The first taste being free has to be a viable marketing strategy. So we're going to give some free shit away, hopefully Pied Piper some people back to the table. We're going to do a panel on mental health and creativity, which is obviously very important to me. Gail Martin started a program called Hold On to the Light, where writers talk about mental health and mental illness and depression and how we deal with these things, both in our fiction and in our lives. And we do a panel based around that shit, just about every chance we get, about anywhere that will let us. And it's a very powerful panel. It's very emotionally draining panel. We're frequently very honest, painfully so, in this panel. So that's going to be my 1 o'clock. Yay. And then I get to go back to the dealer room and try and sell shit again. Andi's got a launch party for her book at 6 o'clock. Then we'll do dinner, and let me look. Do I have anything else? No, I only have the 3 tomorrow. I thought I had 4. The badges for this con are nice. Too much glare. See? They're cute. They did put my schedule on the back of the badge, which is really handy. Like my lanyard. Susan Roddy, who writes for me as S.H. Roddy, made me that chainmail lanyard, which I really like. So yeah, my schedule on the back of the badge, that's a big help when conventions do that, because I always know where my schedule is. I put all my panels on in my calendar on the computer, so they're always in my phone. But if somebody's running the square at the booth, I can't take my phone. So having them on the back of the badge is really useful. And then I've got 2 panels on Sunday. One's on self-publishing, and one is a game show style panel. Yeah. Oh shit, sorry. So yeah, I'm dragging a little. Tomorrow night we'll try and shoot a little bit of this with Andi and maybe Robin, whoever wants to come talk about doing conventions. And shit, I don't know, I've been rambling for 8 minutes and I'm sleepy. This is the exciting shit that you tune into this for, right? Me with my bleary eyes staring into a camera at midnight. Yeah. Good night, y'all. Welcome back to the long con. And this time I remembered to turn the fucking recorder on so we can actually, I don't know, shoot a fucking video. Hey y'all. It is the end of day 2? Day 2 of ConJuration in Atlanta, and I am joined in my studio, i.e. room 1528 of the Hilton Atlanta Airport. Yeah, I gave you my fucking room number because I ain't scared. Also that I'm not uploading this for like a week after I'm gone.
I wonder who will be in this room after you.
I don't know, but y'all want to call their asses. 1528 at the Hilton Atlanta Airport. Just call the front desk and harass the shit out of whoever gets this room. Don't really do that. That would be bad. So it's like 10:30 at night. I'm joined here by Andi Judy, who writes for Falstaff as Judy Black. And we're old and tired as shit. And you've actually got an excuse, because you did, what, 7 panels today?
Yeah, 7 total. Yeah, 7 panels today.
That's insane.
Yeah, so yeah, I had a 10, 11, 12, 1, 4, 6, 9.
So from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I was in back-to-back panels.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
It was a little rough. Yeah.
And that meant you didn't get lunch.
Yep. Yep.
So you came back to the booth at 2 o'clock, and it was like, huh, I brought a snack bag. I brought bread.
But no peanut butter.
Yeah.
And then at my 11 o'clock panel, my coffee got knocked over and spilled all over me. So then I had a sticky, gross skirt that I was stuck in until 2 o'clock because I didn't have time to run up to my room and change.
Yeah, because I mean, there were 15 minutes between panels.
15 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, most panels run over a little bit, and by the time you get to sort of when people come up and want to talk to you after the panel, after all of that has taken place, you usually have about 5 minutes before the next panel starts, maybe.
Yeah, if you're really lucky, you have enough time to go pee.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of the time, taking that time to go pee means you're telling the people who want to come talk to you, I'm sorry, I can't talk, I have to piss, and I have 10 minutes to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
And since you're on this floor too, so there's no way that you could have gotten up 15 floors, and the elevators were pretty crowded today too. So yeah, there was no way you could have gotten up here, gotten to your room, gotten changed, and gotten back down.
Oh yeah, no way. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, and it's funny because this year I really thought I was doing fewer panels. Apparently, I am doing fewer panels. I'm just doing them all on one day.
Back to back to back to
back. Because I don't have any panels tomorrow, and I only had one panel on Friday. So I just got all of my panels today, and I actually was double booked this morning. So they had me on 2 different panels at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't even jump on one of those for you because I had to go sell books, and I didn't have anything that I could really add to either of those panels.
Yeah, because one of them was about using tabletop gaming to help with your writing.
Yeah.
Or talking about YA lit and encouraging younger people to write.
And young people should never ever read anything I write.
Yeah, like that woman who came over today looking for a book for her nine-year-old grandson.
I was like, I think there's a restraining order that prevents me from even talking to your 9-year-old grandson.
Yeah, I can't. Here, read Shingles.
Yeah. Zombies ate my homework, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, but then when you did, we're like, kill a zombie with a butt plug. Her face was pretty priceless.
Because she was walking away, and she stopped, and turned around and came back, and was like, what? And I said, yeah, if you need to know how to kill a zombie with a butt plug, I have an instruction manual. And it's just like, the look on her face said, yeah, I thought that's what you said, but I didn't really believe it.
But here we are.
And this is where life has brought us. So we were on a bunch of those panels together. We were
on 2.
I was on, well, we were on,
we
were on 4.
4?
Because we were on the Falstaff Spotlight at noon, then the Ink and Brain Monsters at 1,
and
then the book launch, which was so good.
Yeah, and then the match game.
And then the match game, which was so weird. So a lot of conventions do these game show panels, and they bring on guests that either that either the convention, the showrunners are very familiar with, or have developed a reputation for being amusing. I end up put on a lot of those unbeknownst to me because I have a theater background, and everybody thinks, oh, well, Hartness loves improv. Hartness fucking hates improv. I hated improv when I was in theater school. I had to take it twice to get my GPA up high enough to not flunk out.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, not flunk out, but I would have lost my scholarship if I hadn't retaken improv. So, yeah, I get put on a lot of these panels. Well, tonight I jumped on the match game panel. And if you've never watched the match game, then you're in good company, because I think it went off the air in like 1925.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody in the audience was familiar with it at all either, so every time they do it, we have to explain what it is. Because we also did the exact same game show with almost the exact same people last night, Friday night.
And had to tell the audience what the fuck was going on then. So they bring 2 people up from the audience, and they ask these basically Cards Against Humanity style questions. Like, one of them was, Dumbledore said, I almost didn't hire McGonagall because I couldn't stand the smell of her blank. So of course, last night Andy makes a joke and says, Pussycat. because McGonagall's a shifter and she turns into a cat. And I said kitty litter. Well, the people who are the contestants write down what they think at least one of the celebrities will say. They almost never get them right because all of us are horrible human beings and we don't want them to actually get points. We want to make jokes, and in my case and Andy's case, we want people to think we're amusing and come buy our shit later.
Yep.
So our goals are kind of counter to the goals of the people playing. My goals at the beginning of the panel were to make a dick joke with every single question. But I've moved off of that after, in the middle of the panel, one of the panelists got up and walked out. Now, that's never happened to me on a panel I was on before. I've seen it happen once.
Oh.
Yeah, at Dragon Con, the first year I attended, I watched John Ringo get up and walk out of a panel because an audience member was being very confrontational and very inappropriate and rude to Ringo.
Oh.
It does happen. John Ringo is not always the devil. I don't know John well enough to know whether or not he's the devil. Yeah, that's what I'm titling this video. John Ringo is not the devil. I'll upload the identical video too and title it John Ringo is the devil.
Oh, God.
We'll see which one gets more views.
Oh, God.
Somebody's going to come and blow up room 1528 at the Atlanta Airport Hilton. But not till I'm gone, bitches. But no, the audience member was being really rude and inappropriate to Ringo, and rather than engage with this dickhead, John got up and left. I thought he handled that really well. We don't know why this chick got up and left. I mean, yes, we were making lots of inappropriate jokes, but she was on the game last night, and y'all were making, I assume, wildly inappropriate jokes last night too.
Yeah.
So you have a theory. You think that maybe she wasn't pissed off and offended, and maybe she was just tired.
Yeah, because we had, when John joined, we went from 6 panelists to 7, and so at that point we didn't have to have everybody. So it's very possible that she just decided that she was done and was ready to go and just was heading out. I don't know.
Yeah, she didn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't know her. I don't know her very well. I enjoyed playing with her last night.
I don't know her at all. Like I would have to go in the convention program to find her name. I don't know her at all. But that was a new one on me, having somebody get up in the middle of a panel and walk out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not uncommon for that to happen with audience. Either they're bored or it's rare that they're offended and get up and walk out. But it's it's very unusual for a panelist to do it, and I thought it was pretty goddamn strange. But we had a good day today. Your book launch went very well.
Yeah, we had people show up for the book launch party, which is always very exciting.
And risky.
And yeah. But yeah, people actually came and bought the book, which was even better than just coming to the event.
Yes. Because it means I'm not carrying 15 copies of the book home with me.
I know.
The goal is always to not carry copies of the books home with me. Sales were much better today. I don't know. I haven't run a report. I think we're probably somewhere in the 350 range, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
And we should probably pick up another 100 it'd be nice to pick up another 200 tomorrow and get us well over 500 for the weekend. That puts us in a decent place for a 3-day con. But no, I think the panels we were on together were good. We developed some fans. You got stopped by a fan on the way up here. Andy got accosted by a drunken woman in a see-through dress.
Yeah, she was just saying that she had caught the tail end of a couple panels I was on and wanted to make sure that my book party went well and that people actually showed up.
She didn't.
She didn't. And she felt really, really bad about it. She was so apologetic that she didn't make it to the panel, which was so cute. But yeah, it was very cute.
She had a drink or three.
But she was very proud of her dress. And,
It was a hell of a dress.
And she promises she's coming by tomorrow to buy a book.
Rock on.
So we'll see if she remembers in the morning.
Yeah, our dinner buddies, the jewelry makers, promised that they're coming by tomorrow to buy a book.
Yeah, we'll see.
We have randomly had dinner with the same two women from the dealer room both nights of the con, because so John's rule for food at a con is my time is limited. When I'm hungry and I have an opportunity to eat, I will make an announcement. I'm going for food. If you want to come on. And I start walking towards food. It's been a little different than that at this con because Andi and I are scheduled together at a lot of the panels.
Yeah.
And we're working the booth together. So we're typically together when we have a break and are ready to eat.
Yep.
So we make an announcement that says, okay, time to eat, let's go. So both nights we have sat at a 6-top table down in the sports bar in the bowels of this hotel.
Which is like race car themed or
Yeah.
something. It's bizarre, but the food's good.
The food is good, but it is a decor that
It's weird.
I expected that in Charlotte with all our NASCAR shit, but
yeah.
I mean, there's rednecks down here too.
I mean, there is. There's the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
I don't know how far that is from here.
I think it's like 1,000,000 miles because we are
Yeah.
on the bottom of the taint of Atlanta.
We are
My
absolutely.
God, because it's north, isn't it? Yeah,
I
it's
think
north.
so. I have no idea. I don't know where anything is.
They turn left a lot. That's most of what I know. But we sat, the two of us, at a 6-top, and then I'm just like, yeah, we'll take the big table. More people will show up,
And they do.
and they do. Tonight, Ben-Hur Norris came and sat with us for a while, and then our two jewelry ladies came and joined us, and then one of my fans, Anthony, who lives here in town, came over and sat with us and joined us for a little while, and then it took 1,000,000 years to get the check.
Yeah, that's always the worst thing at convention hotels is they never seem to be prepared for the influx of people at the restaurants that they're about to experience.
Yeah.
And so they're always really, really slow. And last night they weren't bad.
And last night they were busier in the restaurant, and the service was faster.
Yeah. So I don't know if they just had fewer servers today or.
I don't know.
But yeah, it took forever.
The food was reasonably quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took forever to get our checks and to
30-ish minutes.
yeah, which
Probably.
meant that we couldn't pop in to our friend Robin's NaNoWriMo pizza party and get our dessert, which was candy,
Candy.
but it was dessert, goddammit. And
But we got drinks.
we did get drinks. Yeah.
Woo, the better butter brew is what I had,
Firebolt.
which is like
Again.
vanilla vodka and butterscotch something, and oh,
Yeah, it's way too sweet for
it's
me.
super sweet. It's butter beer. I mean, it's super, super, super sweet and delicious.
Yeah, so we're now pushing towards 11 o'clock, and we've got to be back in the dealer room tomorrow at 10. And you're probably going to go shoot a video in your room.
Yeah.
So, so this is the glamorous life on the convention circuit.
Yay! But yeah, days like this where you have a ton of panels in a row, it's hard. It is, especially because most of us are fairly introverted people.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then at conventions you just sort of have to break the dial.
Well, and you said something interesting today when you got back to the booth. You said that you felt like you had to get on a panel to flip the switch into combo.
Yeah, because panels force you to flip it. At tables, you still can hide.
Yeah.
You can still hide and be on your phone and not be standing up and talking to people. and
Especially at
not-
our table, because I put a big goddamn
Yeah, there's a
bookcase.
huge bookcase in front of me, so I'm completely invisible until I choose to stand up and be like, "Surprise, bitches!" Which is, of course, my catchphrase. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
That's
what Andi
exactly
says.
how I do it. But yeah, so being on the panels, it forces you because you have to interact.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't have that because I do so many Comic Cons, which are primarily dealer room cons. So as soon as honestly, even as soon as I start loading in the table, I flip the switch, which it doesn't really flip back off until about now when I've been in my room with people that I don't have to bullshit for a while. And that's something that I mean, we've had this conversation before about talking to new writers about just how to behave at a con. And this is something that they taught me in my old corporate job. From the second you walk out of your hotel room in the morning to the second you get back in with either alone or with your roommate or spouse, partner, with people that you trust. Andi and I are friends in addition to being people who work together. We've known each other since before either of us really had much of a career.
Careers.
Yeah, I know, right? But from any time you're not sequestered, you're on. And
yeah, because the number of times that I even get stopped at breakfast.
oh yeah.
You know, like I'm just trying to get coffee and eggs, and suddenly, you know, somebody wants to tell me about their novel or talk to me about this panel I was on yesterday, or, you know, apologize for not coming by the booth, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Or hey, I haven't seen you in months. How you been?
Yeah, so yeah, it absolutely is. The second you walk out of your hotel room, you have to be ready.
And we've all got horror stories of meeting our heroes and somebody being a dick. You know, I have a couple. I did a convention a few years ago with a friend's son-in-law, and he wanted to come to this convention to meet a specific artist. It was a writer, I think. It's a little fuzzy. I'm late, and I only cared so much. But we all got back to the hotel, and this guy was rooming with us, and I said, so how was it meeting your homeboy? And he was like, well, I don't know, he was really busy. And I was like, oh, he was a dick, huh? He said, yeah, he was a total dick. I was like, yeah. And the guy may have been busy, he may have been having a shitty day, he may have just gotten a text that his dog died, and it may have just been a moment where he couldn't fucking deal with people.
Oh yeah, because that absolutely happens.
And you don't get those.
No.
That kid will always remember that guy was a dick.
Yep. Yeah. So for me, like if I get into that, if I know that I'm heading to that spot, I just kind of hide in the bathroom for a little while.
I've done that.
Absolutely. And I used to carry headphones with me, and I would listen to like a 10-minute meditation.
Oh, nice.
Or something that was like a calm down and adjust and, you know, chill the fuck out.
It didn't happen this year, but last year at Dragon Con, I went and hid in the stall at the men's room at the Western Bar. I was like, I need a minute. And I couldn't, and there's nowhere.
No, there's nowhere to go at Dragon Con.
If you're not in your hotel, and I wasn't staying at the Westin.
And even if you're in your hotel, it could still take you 30, 45 minutes to get to your room.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're staying and how long the elevator line is.
Oh,
and
God,
like, it could take you an hour to get back to your room, which in that moment is way too long.
Yeah, so I went and I put the lid down on the toilet, and I sat on the toilet in the stall for 5 minutes or so, played a game on my phone, just closed my eyes, chilled, got better, got over it, had a few minutes where I wasn't surrounded by a crush of people, where no one was making demands on me. And it probably kept me from being a raging asshole to somebody.
Yeah, I think that's important to be able to recognize when you're headed that way. Because usually there are warning signs, but it's super easy to just ignore them all.
It is, and
what is it? If you wear rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags.
ooh, I've never heard that before.
And that's usually it's used in like the sign of like relationships and warning signs that are ignored at the start of a relationship. But I think especially at conventions, because you want to be on and think everything is great and everything's fine and you got this, and by the time you realize that those were red flags, not just flags, the road has run out.
Right, you've either hurt someone's feelings or you've ruined their first interaction with you, and you may be their favorite writer.
Yeah.
You've ruined an interaction with a peer or someone who can help your career later. So it is important to be self-aware and know when you're getting to those places that you shouldn't maybe be around people for a few minutes, and find those places where you can hide.
Oh yeah, and if you're at, somewhere you can run up to your hotel room, that's obviously ideal, but most of the time it's not reality.
I mean, last year at Dragon, you were working in the hotel
Yeah,
where I had a room.
Yeah.
So me and Darren Kennedy's my roommate at Dragon Con most years. So Darren and I just gave Andi a key to our room and said, hey, if you need a minute, go up to our room. When we leave for the day, we're usually gone for the next 12, 14 hours.
Oh yeah. Yeah, which is great, because sometimes you do just need to be in your own space and breathe.
Yeah.
Like breathe your own air.
Yeah.
Because, conventions can be really overwhelming, especially if you're going from not doing a lot of them to suddenly doing a lot of them, or if the first time you go from in front of the table to behind the table is such a huge, terrifying jump. And panels too. Like, I used to go into bathroom stalls and basically like hyperventilate and panic all the way leading up into the moment that I walked into the panel room.
Oh, you hit it well.
That's why I did it in the bathroom stalls.
Yeah, because I've done panels with you for years and never knew that you had I knew that you were much more introverted than me, but I never knew that it was that bad.
Oh yeah, they freaked me out for a long time. Now they're not so bad. There are certain topics that still make me really anxious, and like we had the mental health panel today, and I was coming off of 3 other panels in a row. You and I had just finished a panel together.
Yeah, we just finished the Falstaff
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
There's no real buffer between that panel to sort of prep for it.
Yeah, I'm always I always have anxiety about doing the mental health panel because it's very easy. What we're talking about is a panel that Andi does, I do. Gail Martin started it with a program called Hold On to the Light, and it is a panel at multiple conventions around the Southeast where we discuss very openly and honestly our struggles with mental health, illness, depression, suicidal ideation, the impact that suicide has had on us personally, impacts that suicide or depression or mental illness or mental health have had on our work, and how we address this in our fiction. That panel can get really personal and really deep really fast.
Yeah, and it usually does. And it's, every year, because this is the second or third year I've done this particular panel at this convention. And I was expecting that I knew what we were going to be talking about, and then you never do.
No.
Because different topics came up this year than had come up last year, than had come up the year before. And so it's always a slight walking across a minefield.
That's exactly the image I was going to use, because we are doing this panel to try and be helpful to people, and we do want to treat all of these issues with care and respect. But for me especially, I use humor to diffuse a lot of the tension in those situations. So I have to be really careful not to make light of an issue that somebody has. So I always have a lot of anxiety about those panels, and I tell people in the panel that this is the worst panel in the world. It's the one that I hate to do, and I'll do it every chance I get, because I think it's the most important thing we do.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely the panel that I get the most people who talk to me afterwards.
Yeah.
Probably not immediately after the panel, but like tomorrow.
I don't let people talk to me immediately after that panel.
Yeah.
I leave.
Yeah.
I nope right the fuck out, because I'm pretty raw.
Oh yeah.
And I'm fairly open, but I'm not open enough to want to stand in front of a room weeping with someone I've just met because they said something that struck a chord in me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have, when we first did this panel at Con Carolinas, and we had a long, like 45-minute conversation in the hall after the panel, I was there for that, and it was all mute, but ever since then, I've been like, yeah, no.
Oh yeah, because that panel, and I was very grateful that I didn't have a panel immediately following that panel.
That's
that would have
brutal.
been really bad and
I've done
really
that.
rough. Yeah,
And
I've
it is
done.
really hard.
Yeah, especially because it's always like some ridiculous topic after with that. You know, it's like humor and fantasy is the next panel that you have to do after mental health or
I
something.
think I did. I think I had that at Dragon this year, maybe, that I had that panel and then 30 minutes and something completely unrelated.
Yeah, so
And that was
one's-
another one of those hide in the bathroom moments.
Oh yeah, but yeah, and I mean some panels are and some panels aren't. And, you know, some panels you can feel the panel not going well, and that can make it really hard to bounce back after the panel and not have
Yeah.
like the whole con be a wash or a lost cause because this one panel sucked.
Yeah, and
Um,
sometimes panels just suck, and sometimes it's not our fault. Sometimes it's not the fault of anyone that's even on the panel or the audience. It's just,
It just happened.
it just happened, you know?
Sunday morning panels tend to almost always suck because people are exhausted.
Yeah,
And so everyone has super low energy, they're hungover, they're tired, their voices are raw.
attendance is usually very bad.
So in my experience, a lot of Sunday morning panels can very easily go sour.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Morning panels in general.
We're fucking creatives, man. We're not morning people. We're not good in those hours. It's funny because I write better in the mornings. But
Yeah, I'm a morning person.
yeah, I've always known you were strange.
I know, I'm odd. I'm an odd duck. But yeah, doing that many panels in a row is rough. Thankfully, it was a wide variety of topics with a wide variety of people, so that helps.
Yeah.
But
And you ended on the most intense panel. You didn't have to follow that panel with anything right on top of it.
Yeah, which is great.
And you could go hide behind the bookcase in the booth for an hour.
Yeah, and I finally got to go up to the room and change out of my coffee-soaked skirt.
Right?
So that gave me a chance too to sort of decompress and chill.
Although you didn't take much because you weren't.
No, well, I knew you had been on the panel too, so I was, you know, I didn't want to leave you down there alone if you needed a break too.
Yeah, when I'm working a table, I compartmentalize pretty well. So when I'm working a table, I can shove all that shit to the side and wait until I get.
Yeah, I just know how much I struggle sometimes when I'm working a table by myself. So if I'm helping someone with a table, I try to actually help.
I appreciate the fuck out of that.
Because it's hard running a table by yourself. Because you don't really get a chance to eat, to go to the bathroom, to enjoy the convention at all.
Yeah, I walked around the dealer room today.
Yeah.
I haven't done that in like most of the last 5 cons I've done.
Yeah, because you just get stuck at your table.
Yeah.
And especially because there haven't been a ton of dead periods.
Yeah, no, there haven't been. So things are fairly steady.
So I honestly, I think the periods where it's like if you go to a convention and it's super dead and there's no one there for hours, that
That's
for me,
the
that is the
worst.
most demoralizing thing ever. That is when I really struggle with conventions.
Yeah, because that's when you're thinking, fuck, I spent all this money to get here.
What
I
am I
spent
doing
all this
with my
money on
life?
product. Nobody gives a shit about anything I'm doing. Why am I doing this? I should be home writing. I should be home cleaning. I should be home talking to my cat. That would be more fucking productive.
Yep.
I should be doing a video.
Yeah, there's
You should
a
be streaming a
million.
D&D game.
Yeah, there are a million other things that I could be doing with my time right now, and this is a waste, and you know, I'm never gonna make it, and
Oh, yeah.
all those thoughts. So, and that's why, even though I was really busy today, I liked it because it didn't give me too much of a chance to ruminate on my life choices and you know, think. And I was so grateful that people actually showed up to the book release party. That even though it
Yeah.
wasn't a ton of people, it was a bunch of strangers. It wasn't just like my friends. In fact, none of my friends except for Hartness were there. Which is fun because they're all at the convention too, and they're working. A lot of them
Yeah.
had panels too, or tables. So like, and that's one thing is with convention friends, you have to be aware that
Right.
they have tables and panels and all this other shit they're
Yeah,
doing
this is
too.
also their workplace, so they
Yeah.
can't necessarily support you in your shit.
They can't drop everything and show up at your panel, even if they may want to.
Yeah, that's why it's why I don't often do readings at cons, because it's hard on my ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I have a reading and 2 people show up,
Oh, that's brutal.
and one of them is the significant other of the person I'm sharing the reading with, like, goddamn. I'm reading for 30 minutes to one human being.
Yeah, and a lot of times when I've done that, I usually am just like, okay, what questions do you have about publishing and writing?
Yeah.
Like, you get a one-on-one Q&A with me because this is a waste of my time, and I would rather feel like I'm helping you. And readings make me super anxious anyway, so if I can get out of it, I'll do it.
Yeah, you know, the last few years at Dragon, I've turned my reading
Yeah.
into a Falstaff reading. So I do reading, usually I do a reading at the beginning, and then I put 3 or 4 Falstaff authors in to read pieces from their work, and then I'll do a reading at the end. Well, this year I was supposed to only have 30 minutes to get from the underbelly of the Hyatt to the Westin, which is, what is it, it's around the corner, up an escalator, around another corner, up 2 escalators, up Peachtree 2 blocks uphill, Labor Day weekend in 1,000-degree heat. I knew that the only way I was going to get to my next panel and not be a sweaty goddamn mess was to I do half the reading and leave. And normally there's like 3 people that are there that barely know me. There were like 10 people in the room, and they all kind of wanted to see me. So I gotta figure something out for next year, because I can't be leaving people who actually do want to see me read shit and only give them half of the time that they showed up for. I felt really bad about that.
Yeah, and it's one of those that it's hard to know in advance what it's gonna be like. You have no idea.
Yeah, it's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a reading last year at Dragon, and it was mostly friends of the Falstaff authors that I brought in, and they were perfectly happy for me to read for 10 minutes at the beginning, 10 minutes at the end, and then have their friends get a chance to read at DragonCon. This year, 2/3 of the audience were actually there to see me, and I'm like, well, thank you, I'm fucking flattered. But
the release went well.
Yeah, it
which
did.
I wasn't sure at all what to expect for it, because I've not done a release party period, let alone one at a convention.
This is the 3rd one I've done at a convention, and probably the best.
Oh.
The one we did at Conuga was pretty good, but it was like launching 3 or 4 books, and we had a pile of booze, and we had cakes, and we had a pile of shit, and it was, I think 2 of the 3 books were anthologies.
Yeah, so it was a ton of people.
Yeah, we had 25 authors. So yeah, there were a bunch of people, but I think we sold as many copies of your book at this release as we did of the book we were launching at that launch.
Yeah.
And then there was the disastrous launch party for the Big Bad anthology, where the books didn't show up.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, so that was bad.
Yeah, that's awkward.
But yeah, that went really well, and the game show panel was fun, except for the weird storm out.
Yeah, but yeah, so if you're at a convention and someone is doing a reading or a book release party, you should go.
Yeah.
You will make that person's day.
If you have the slightest interest in that person or the genre they work in, go check out the reading. They will love your ass for it.
Oh yeah, they will remember. They will be so excited.
And you'll probably get some pretty good one-on-one time.
Oh yeah, and I think it's a really good way for you to also get the chance to talk to authors that maybe might otherwise be really occupied, because a lot of people don't show up to readings, even for popular authors.
Oh yeah, I heard somebody talk about going to a reading at Dragon with Patrick Rothfuss, and there were 2 people in the room.
Yeah, I went to a Chuck Wendig reading at Dragon, and there were maybe 10 people in the room.
Fran Wilde is a Nebula-nominated writer, and she had no people in the room for her reading, and Fran's really fabulous writer.
Yeah, so pro tip.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I will talk to you fuckers tomorrow from the road. You'll get to see me up close and sweaty from the truck after I load this shit out.
And then have to get out of Atlanta.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, and 85 North was a parking lot Friday.
Oh.
Something was fucked up and they legitimately closed 85 North.
Oh, I wonder if they flipped over another truck of chickens.
I don't know.
There were some cows that got loose a while back. It's Atlanta. Anything goes.
This was in South Carolina. This
Oh,
was
God.
this was I think This is between Greenville and Clemson, I think.
Oh.
Which again, cows getting loose near Clemson is not
a
much of a
surprise.
stretch.
But yeah, good luck with that. I'm just trying to get on the other side of Atlanta, and that's
Which
probably
is
going to
still
take
an hour
forever.
and a half.
Yeah, that's still probably going to take a while, especially Thanksgiving weekend, because people are going to be traveling.
Don't remind me.
I'm sorry. I'm reminding myself too. Your drive is longer than mine, though.
Yeah, but the agony of Atlanta will be the same for both of us.
Oh, Atlanta.
All right. Good night, y'all.
All right. Welcome back to The View from the Front Seat. It's 5:45 on Sunday afternoon, I guess evening. I'm somewhere north of Atlanta, round exit 120, wherever that is. Stopped to get something to eat. I'm going to go reload the gas tank at QT, get me some road candy, and roll north. We did the show today. We're done with ConJuration. It was a very good show. This was an odd buying con because a lot of people saved their purchases for Sunday. Sorry, sinuses. Shit happens. A lot of people saved their purchases till Sunday. We ended up at about $600. So what were we at last night? About $350. So yeah, we did about $250 today, and we did $350 over day 1 and 2 combined. So that's a really good one day for a show that's this small. I think it averages 1,000, 1,200 people. And this was a new location, so a lot of people felt like attendance was down slightly. But no, this was a very good show. The crowd was very positive. The whole vibe of the weekend was very positive. I thought that the con was well run. The dealer room was exceptionally well run. It was well laid out. It was close to an exit. The hotel's still learning. I don't think they've done very many of our flavor conventions, so there were some things with the parking on the first day and getting in and out and figuring some shit out, and service in the restaurants are always slow. Always slow. I missed my friend Robin's NaNoWriMo pizza party because I had about 30 minutes between when I tried to pay for my meal and my panel, and it took about 25 of those minutes to actually get my check and pay my check and sign my tab and all of that. So that was frustrating, but look, if that's what I've got to bitch about at the end of a 3-day con, that's a pretty goddamn good 3-day con. I do want to put this back on the list for next year. That puts me almost full for next year. I was booked on, I think, 16 events before this weekend. So if I do this one, and I'm going to do Atomicon again next year, that's a regular stop. I'm at 18. I really do want to stay at 20 or fewer for 2019. So, yeah, we're pretty damn full. But yeah, ConJuration was very good. My God, if you like Harry Potter, this is the con for you. Holy shit, I've never seen as many people walking around in Harry Potter house robes. Most of the rooms were named after things from the Harry Potter series. It makes me want to go back and reread the books. It also makes me want a Slytherin hoodie, but that's a whole nother story. And they didn't have any in Gigantor size at the con, so that was good. It let me keep some of the convention money in my pocket. $600 in sales is the best sales con I've had since the end of July. The end of July, of course, was Raleigh SuperCon, which was phenomenal, but it was also huge. But since then we had South Carolina. No, we had Soda City Comic Con, which was very disappointing this year. I did barely 550 at that show after doing close to 8 last year. I did Dragon, where I don't sell. I missed Bookmarks and a small community college one-day fest because I was sick after Dragon. Sorry, some guy with a really tiny dick just drove by in a jacked up Fiero, so I don't know if you heard his little 4-cylinder fart factory ride by, but it sounded like shit, looked worse. God damn it. The last time I saw anything with that much rust on it, it was one of my daddy's log trucks. But yeah, then we had October, which was pretty fucking dismal. Did a couple $100 at Monsterama, did $350 at Spooky Empire. We did a little over 5 at the Geek Gala, which was great, especially since it was a one-day show. But as far as gross sales, this was my best for quite a while. So, and I think that the dealer room space was big enough that if I come back, I can bring more tables and make a bigger chunk of real estate to sell more. So yeah, it was really good. This is definitely one that I want to consider returning to. But yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long year. I've got 2 more. I'm really happy about only having 2 more. And then after Atomicon, the first weekend of December, I've got a 1-day between then and Illogicon middle of January. So it's going to be really nice to have 6 weeks where I'm sleeping in my own bed. This 4 to 5 hours on the road every weekend it's worn on me. I'm tired. I've put on weight. I know it's hard to tell when I start fat, but yeah, I've put on weight. My writing productivity is down. I think that I'm going to be able to get back up on some of that over the next 2 weeks. I've got a Shingles novella that I got to finish, and I know where that's going, so we're good there. Andi and I talked through a lot of things, and it was a lot of me talking through things to get it clear in my head as to where we're going with Falstaff over the next year or 2. And being able to verbalize a lot of that has helped me clarify where we are, what we're trying to do, where we're trying to go. So I'm feeling good. Walking away from a con with $600 in my pocket always makes me feel good, even though I now, of course, have to reorder things. But no, it was a really good weekend. I really enjoyed ConJuration. The vibe, I can't say enough about the atmosphere of this convention. It was so friendly. It had a sense of childlike wonder to the entire event that I really enjoyed. Not childish, but childlike. So if you enjoy the Harry Potter books and movies or fantasy literature, overall, this is definitely one you want to put on your calendar. It's apparently going to be the same weekend next year. So I'm gonna hit the road. It's right at 6 o'clock now, so that's gonna put me getting home 9:30, and then get up tomorrow, unload the truck, get ready to do it again. Y'all be good to one another, all right?